Upgrade is directed by Lee Wano. I'm hoping I'm getting his name correctly. And stars Logan Marshall Green. And this film is about a guy who's a mechanic who lives in a futuristic world where technology is basically has conquered a lot of society and all that. And it's basically a world very similar to Blade Runner by the vehicles and the way the certain technologies are throughout the film. And he's a mechanic who lives with his wife, and they get a chance to learn. They meet this guy who basically designs what's called these nanotech, like these nanobites or whatever. They're like these little chips that you can go inside to inside your body to give you basically mechanical like beings and stuff. It gives you like mechanical strength and everything.
Yeah, it upgrades your body where you can fight like a motherfucker and you can do all types of high-tech shit.
And this is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Basically, an event happens to where his wife gets brutally murdered by someone, and he tries to get revenge on. He gets shot and becomes basically paralyzed from the neck down. Yeah. And he gets a chance to get his revenge by turning his body into this kind of mechanical being with it.
Yeah. And it's placed in the back of his spine, which that's also in the trailer. Yeah. The trailer does spoil a lot, but no. Don't worry, it doesn't.
Yeah, this will be... We won't spoil what goes on in the film. Basically...
And if you're not familiar with Lee, the director, he's the guy from Saw.
Yeah, he wrote...
Adam.
Yeah, he played Adam in Saw and also wrote, I believe, the first two Saw movies. Yeah. And he also directed Insidious, the third one. Yeah. And so this is his second time he's taken the director spot. And I didn't really, to go into some backstory, I didn't really know much about this film until probably about a week or so ago.
Yeah, this movie's promotion was just more standard, and it does give you that feel that, this is just my judgment on trailers alone. We're going to get into detail about the movie. But the trailers make you feel like it was going to be like more of a red box action
kind of RoboCop
knockoff. Like, you didn't really see much of the trailers with this film. It was just, I think it released maybe 2 trailers, but a lot of people didn't really go into looking at them. It didn't really get where millions and millions, beyond millions of people were watching. Yeah. It was more like, and I'm one of them. When I saw the trailers to it, I was kind of just like, skipping over, like, okay, standard film. Yeah. And we decided to give it a watch, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am so glad we did. This movie was fucking amazing.
This was absolutely wonderful. Like, I didn't
This blew me away. I didn't see this coming at all.
This was a film I went in completely blind, and I didn't even really look at the trailer until I was watching the film because I was on my phone. But I was so engaged with this movie. Okay, to get my pros out of the way, Logan Marshall Green, who's the star of the movie, he did a phenomenal job. He really carried a lot of the physical role, and also the mentality of this guy who's trying to get his revenge and stuff. But the physical body strength that he goes through in order to basically turn, because he's a paraplegic in the film. Paraplegic, sorry.
Quadriplegic.
Yeah. And basically, he has this chip that's installed where he can pretty much get his body to basically move for him. Yeah. And the physical, the
way he acts, his physicality, instead of just walking around like, okay, you don't look like, like you were, I was worried that whenever they put the chip in, he was just going to walk normal like you and I and all that stuff. But he captures to where this chip, you can tell that it controls his body. And the actor, Logan, that plays it, he plays it so perfectly. I mean, I'm going to say that that's not an easy thing to do. Yeah. It is hard to be able to complete a film where you make it so obviously you have no control of your body. And that you're letting this chip kind of control you. He did that shit to fucking perfection.
He did, absolutely. And then plus, to get some of my other pros, I really love the way the story goes along, because you're seeing the way that the film goes. We won't reveal anything, but basically, you have a lot of stuff in this movie where when he's trying to get his revenge, it goes in a completely 180 direction in different ways.
Yes, and in a good way, man. This movie you started getting scared, and Lee kind of Trixie and thinking, okay, you think I'm going to give you guys some standard story? I'm going to end it like this. And he just does a 180, and you're just like, whoa, what the hell?
And
like, I didn't see that coming at all. But the story is so fucking strong in this film.
It is, because also you have the stuff going on where he's trying to look for the people that are behind it, while at the same time you have this cop that's also investigating what's happening and all that, and you get some stuff where she's kind of thinking that he's behind some of this, but she has to figure out more.
Yeah.
And I love how that she's trying to piece together like we are, like you know.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where you're piecing things together, and you're gonna think you're right, but you're not fucking right. And another couple of my pros I want to get out of the way: the choreographed fight scenes are some of the best I've ever fucking seen. And if you've seen the trailers, I will, as much as I say it was low budgety, I mean, you'd think it was going to be a low budget film.
It is. It's because it's actually shot to $2 to $5 million.
Yeah, which I don't know how the fuck he did this movie, because this is some of the most advanced shit I ever fucking seen in such a low budget. This $5 million is what you said,
think so.
right?
Yeah, about.
How? Because this, when you get done watching this film, you're gonna walk out and you're gonna think that cost about $50 million until you look it up.
Yeah, I looked up. It said the budget was about $3 to $5 million.
That is unbelievable.
That was insane.
There's got to be a lot of people taking pay cuts, man, or something. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're talking about a film that's visually stunning. Everything is on par with 2049.
Yeah,
but yet can do it in $3 to $5 million. What?
That's what I'm saying. To me, this film, like upon watching it, it's like it almost takes place in the same universe as 2049, but only it's a lot more, slightly more grittier looking. Yeah. But still, I would definitely buy that if this was in the same universe.
But yeah, the choreographed fight scenes were fucking amazing in this film.
Especially when you see
how fast he is, the hand movements, just the way they're fucking, the way the movements, the camera angle where you see him in the trailers where he rises up. Oh my god, dude, they do that throughout this film. It's like, holy shit, man, the camera work is amazing in this film.
Yeah, and not just that, but I also like how the film deals with a lot of the stuff where he has no control over his body and stuff, and he's starting doing things that he couldn't even do before. Yeah. Like because, not to go into detail, but there's something going on with this chip that is causing him to do all this, and you're kind of questioning, like, okay, how does this chip know all this that's happening?
Yeah, and you'll find out, it will blow you away. But another thing I gotta say is I liked about this film, it is fucking gruesome.
It is fucking gory as hell.
Oh my god! This film, I didn't see this coming.
Yeah. If you've ever seen some of David Cronenberg's old films from like the 80s and stuff, this would be like if it was nowadays Cronenberg. If this was directed by David Cronenberg, this would definitely be wonderful if it was, because it has that feel where you're seeing a lot of practical effects, and a lot of it's body practical effects too, where you see like body parts,
you see like tendons, like brain matter.
Yeah,
I mean, this shit looks like legitly they cut a person open. Like, oh my fucking god, the detail. Yeah. It's not only that, just like people get shot in the head, the fucking eyeballs getting pouring out. And
yeah,
I was like, damn,
so like fucking gruesome looking.
I was like, golly, man, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I'm glad they did that.
There's even one part, I won't go into detail, but there's a part where a dude gets stabbed multiple times, and you hear it a lot, and then we see the after effect, you're like, damn!
Like, it's pretty slicey movie. But another thing, this is probably like some of my top favorites of this film, the score.
Oh, that score is outstanding.
Oh my god.
It's very eerie. It gives you that kind of mentality like you're watching a horror film throughout.
You get that, but here's the thing. They do a Blade Runner score-ish type feel with the whole neo-noir type. You guys remember 2049 and the first Blade Runner? It has a lot of that. And speaking of that, the visuals, like the way they do the neon lights in the dark, it does remind me of 2049 from last year.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I feel like if this was set in the same universe, I can buy that, because a lot of the technology looks very similar to it. And also a little bit of RoboCop too, because the technology in this does kind of also remind me of the original RoboCop. and even a little bit of the remake from a few years ago.
Another pro of mine, the dark humor in this.
Yeah,
There's some parts that had me
hilarious.
especially when he's first not used to the body, and the body's pretty much taking control for him.
Yeah.
And because that's not a spoiler, that's also in the trailer. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And it's like sitting there and he's beating that dude's head with a bus. So what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
There's some funny parts in the way he starts getting kind of like ballsy because he realizes that he can whoop a lot of ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's up, guys? You ready for some more?"
Yeah, they get him some funny one-liners in this that do remind me of something out of like, I don't know if it's some Shane Black role, but it's, you know, like those fun 80s type action films. It's kind of like one of those.
Yeah.
But that was great, and just overall, like, this movie just has so much I want to go into detail, but I don't want to spoil it because,
but man, that twist ending,
yeah,
whoa,
that was so fucking great.
I'm gonna tell you now, that's how you fucking do a fucking ending. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This
to me is the third film I've seen so far this year that is doing a lot of risky stuff as far as story.
It took its chances. I'm glad that they risked. It took risks, and it worked really, really well. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have a con for this
I don't
film.
either. It's so
good.
like wonderful, and the movie's only about a little over an hour and a half, but it doesn't feel like it was at a perfectly good length.
I didn't see this coming, really. What's the chances of something that looks like you can buy from Redbox, well, from trailer aspect, and then you watch it, you're like, whoa, this isn't going to be Redbox and release. And as the movie goes along, it's like, Jesus, this movie's fucking damn good. Man, this movie's getting underappreciated because there's a lot of people that didn't show up to this because they figured this is a Redbox watch.
Well, yeah, and it was very undermarketed to me. Like, I feel like
undermarketed.
This film is definitely one of those movies that a lot of people are probably going to overlook in summertime.
Unfortunately.
Because we get a lot of those movies like Annihilation that came out earlier this year that was very overlooked. So much like that, I feel like people really appreciate it when they get a chance to watch it. So with that,
and please go see it because I'm gonna tell you right now, I about said the same thing trying to like when we were gonna go see Action Point. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna probably see that because it just looks so standard. But I'm glad I fucking did. Take my word for it. Go see it. With that said, I'm giving this a phenomenal grade on the Film Freaks meter. This movie is definitely making my top 10 best of this year.
Mine too. This is also a phenomenal grade on the Film Freaks meter as well for me. Like, this is everything that I can imagine them doing a sci-fi film right, and really, you know, doing its own thing with. Because it does take elements from certain things like RoboCop and even a little bit of.
But everything takes elements. There's not a movie today that really could say they're so original because I think at this point now every idea has been thought of.
Yeah, but with that, they still take similar ideas, but they do it with their own, and that's what I really appreciate.
Yeah, that you can do, and I appreciate they did that. So.
Yeah. So for those of you who have also got a chance to watch Upgrade, let us know in the comments of what you thought about it, and if you like what you see here, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel, and check out some of our other reviews at filmfreaks.com, and we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.